Good morning, everybody. This is Colleen with Cards by Coco, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today, I continue my week of Paper Pumpkin, and we're going to make an alternative. Now, I'm going to just make one of the alternatives that is suggested here in our Paper Pumpkin pamphlet, which is always the funnest way for me to go. I love how our designers at Stampin' Up! Provide us with just adorable designs. So to me, it's just fun. If you haven't seen a Paper Pumpkin subscription kit, and I hope I'm not too close this time. I noticed last time I was a little blurry, so I'm going to try and make not as quick movements and see if things stay in focus a little bit more. If you don't know what Paper Pumpkin is, it is a monthly subscription kit that Stampin' Up! Offers. So, if you like to get subscription kits in the mail and you like to craft, this might be the one for you. Anyway, so you would open up your box and it comes with all the goodies you need to create fun cards or projects. It does change. Every month you'll get a new kit. So this kit, let me show you the 3 cards. I just think these are beautiful, and it coordinates with, what kit does it coordinate? It coordinates with the Countryside. I think it's Countryside Inn. I think that's it, but don't quote me. But it does come, the add-on. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. It's like I have no command over the English language today. Anyway, it did have an add-on, which is these, great dies. So, really happy to show you my alternative. Wanted to show you the original cards first. So, I had a card class yesterday, my first one in about 3 years, and it was so much fun. But I have to tell you, I'm a little bit behind on what I'm doing here. So, we're going to go ahead and just follow this design. I made a similar one to this months and months ago, but using a different set. And this is a retired set, but I just want to show you how versatile this layout actually is, because I thought this was the funnest card. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of that set right now. It's probably stacked away in my retired products. Anyway, let's go ahead and make this. I'll give you the dimension. I'm going to use one of the card bases that came in the kit. This is Night of Navy, and it is 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4. So if you wanted to make this card and you had the coordinating stamp set or the Paper Pumpkin and you just didn't have a pre-made card base, you would just make your card using Night of Navy cardstock. Just that easy. Then I cut a piece of basic white at 3 1/4 by 4.5. I literally, it's not exactly like this. You could see this maybe a little taller and a little narrower. I just went and quickly looked at the dimensions I used for this one. So then I took a piece of boho blue, which is probably, I just absolutely love this color blue. It's not a bright blue. It's a nice soft blue, and I really, really, really like it. Hopefully we're bright enough in here. And I cut this piece at 3 inches by 4 inches. So you can see how easily this comes together. Let's come to the fun part. Let's do some stamping. I went ahead and took one of the die cuts here. Oh, where it popped out. I'm just going to straighten that out. I took one of the die cuts, and you can see that I'm going to use this little stamp here, this flower one here, and just go across using the Night of Navy. This is a Paper Pumpkin block. It's different than the block Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up will sell these independently also, so you can buy these little Paper Pumpkin blocks independently, but you'll get one of these in your first kit, so I'm just going to demonstrate how to use this today. These are the blocks that I like. You can kind of get a little better hold on it, but this is the one that comes in the kit with your first kit and only with the first kit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a mat because these are photopolymer. If you don't have the Stampin' Pierce mat, go ahead and use the cardboard. I'm going to show you this is an all-inclusive kit. Use the cardboard and that'll give you enough of a cushion. That cardboard comes in your kit. Let's go ahead and grab our little vase. And the thing I do love about our grid paper is it helps you line up your images. In your paper pumpkin kit, you will always get the coordinating color ink spot. These are great. I'm not using mine because I have the full-size ink pad, and I save those. I save those for new stampers. I save them for my grandchildren, and I have a daughter that's a school teacher. So sometimes all of my inks come in handy. So I like to, when it's a new stamp, I like to stamp off once to see how the image actually looks. Now I'm going to follow my pattern here. I'm going to stamp my first one in the center though, because that's the one to me that's going to be the focal point. So I'm going to stamp that first one there. I'm going to give this a little turn so they're not all even Steven and just exactly the same. And then I'm going to bring this one in here, press down. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm not too worried about everything on this little piece of pottery being perfect because I actually have quite a bit of pottery in my house. And, pottery's not perfect. It never is. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment now. I'm going to move my stamp over here to the other block just because I don't want to lose it. I'm going to grab this die cut piece, which also came in the kit. And I'm going to pop this down here and I'm going to grab the sentiment. And what are they using? They're using You're Invited. Let me see here. So there is a You're Invited, but I think I'm going to use Welcome. Sometimes, it's nice when people move into the neighborhood. Well, it would be nice if you lived in town. I guess I live out in the country. But it is always nice to give people a welcome gift. We do have neighbors close by, but not real close. Anyway, let me go ahead. Apparently, I'm kind of just a stream of consciousness this morning. Just going to chat. Okay, so I don't know if this is a stamp that stamped wonky or me. No, it was me. All right, so let's even this out on the grid paper. And go ahead and center this as best as we can. Put our little welcome there. It's a little high, but I think it's fine. I'm fine with that. So let me go ahead and close my ink pad so I don't get my finger stuck in there. And let's put our card together. It is a little high, but if we add some embellishments right there, who's going to know that it wasn't done on purpose, right? So let's move this kind of cluttery stuff out of the way. Let me get my card base. And you will see how quickly this card comes together. So I'm going to just angle this basic white piece like this. So easy. Oh, good morning, Tammy. So easy just to give a little angle there. And I'm going to get out my multi-purpose glue. And a little bit of glue goes a long way. Be sure not to get it right up to the edge. I've seen people just put too much up to the edge. You can always add a bit, but I would say maybe only go up that far. The glue spreads when you put your piece of paper down. So if you're an avid crafter, that would be one of those obvious things that you would think, why is she telling me that? But if you're a new crafter, and I had some new stampers yesterday at my class, it's those kind of things that are obvious to those of us who do it all the time that may not be obvious to somebody else. So just be sure not to get your glue too close to the edge. Okay. Oh, I did not do all the stamping. Look, I need to look at our sample. We need to take our flower piece here and we need to stamp down there. So I'm going to pop this here. This stamp is just a hair too long. If I was to put it on the block this way, it's a hair too long. But if we turn our block this way, it goes on perfectly. Let me grab back my mat. Let me look at my picture here. And it looks like we're just going to put that stamp down here at the bottom. So I think I'm going to go like this. And then I've got a plan. Let's see how it turns out. Good morning, Karen. Nice that you can join. Good morning, Jan. So let's go ahead and pop this down here and just bring this down to the base. And then we're going to kind of scooch that this part here, I want to more or less scooch up close. There we go. That's a pretty image. Oh, those flowers really add so much. So my husband laughs when every time my paper pumpkin box comes in, because he likes to pick up the mail, you know. And so he's always laughing. He's like, your box is here. So let's go ahead and glue this here. Just watch those edges. You don't want to get your glue smeared on the outside of your project. You've worked so hard to get the stamping done. Okay, and let's line this up. And I actually like to put this layer as straight as I can get it. It's kind of an optical illusion. So sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. But I think that will work out well for me. Let's go ahead. Here's this vase was a die cut that came in the kit. What I like about kits also is that you don't need all the die cutting machines. You don't need all the fancy things. Sometimes it's just fun to put a kit together without bringing everything you own out. Or if you don't have everything, they're nice to put together. I loved camp, so for me, I like to use these when I'm camping. Oh, you know what? I forgot to grab dimensionals, but look here. I have these ends here on my desk. I'm just going to snip some here. Don't forget, your dimensionals go all the way to the end. When I first started, I threw all of these. It was so funny. I threw all of these dimensionals away right here on the end. Just never thought to just cut them and use them. So very silly, but you know, again, one of those obvious things when I was a new stamper I didn't pick up on. Okay, and I don't like a squishy project, so I'm probably a little dimensional happy. You use what you think is appropriate. I know I use too many. And let's put this right here, making it even again. I'm going to add dimensionals. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. Oh, I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to take this dimensional piece and put it along the bottom here. So here's the welcome. And I think I'm just going to pop that like that. Let me see how that's going to work. Yep, and then a little bit here, right on this edge. Okay, so I want this piece to go here. And let's go ahead and do this. Pop this over here. How did they have it lined up? So they had it just a little bit lining up at the bottom of that pottery vase. So how easy is this card to put together? I'm going to grab some of these great glossy dots here with the in colors. Take my Take Your Pick tool. And I am just going to lift these up. And let me see, they have one here. Which is really basically, when I say I'm casing this card, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just literally following their design that the Stampin' Up! Artisans did. Well, these are really cool. You should see these in person. These are the coolest dots. I just love them. Okay, so this is the one in the picture. Let me see if I can hold it up for you. This is the one in the picture, and this is the one I created. So that's my version of the casing and my measurements. So again, it was, and I'll blog this at some point in time today. It was the basic white, in case you want to write it down, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, the boho blue, 3 by 4, and your standard card base in Night of Navy, and that was at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So this is the case card. The one I just copied, the alternative. This is, and these cards here are how they were designed in the actual kit, just the standard design. So thanks so much for popping in today and spending part of your Thursday with me. I really appreciate it. I'll be have a YouTube video uploaded for you on Monday by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll be back again live next Thursday. So thank you so much and have a great weekend.